Hello everyone and welcome to game week number 6 in the Match of the Delay series, sponsored by Fanatical. This is the series where 20 of your favourite Football Manager content creators will compete in a Premier League tournament to see who has the best tactical mind. After 5 weeks of action, at the top of the table is looking supremely tight with just 2 points separating our top 6 competitors. At the opposite end of the table last week, both Mustermann and Trequinho picked up their first points in the competition, but remain in the relegation zone alongside Kempi. My name is Steve or Hook Gaming, and today I am joined in the studio by the one and only Zealand. Obviously, it takes a little less to introduce Z. And we've also, for the first time, got our first manager on the show, as we have Wolves manager, Big Robbo. Gents, how are you both doing today?
Well, I'm doing fabulous. Excited for this this breakdown show, because it's about time I was able to get up in here and mix things up. I had some opinions about the way some of these managers have gotten down to business, but I'm going to have the opportunity to express those opinions in an organized and respectful manner. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I love that you've gone for respectful over some of our previous guests who have been less so. Robbo, how are you doing, mate?
Oh, I'm doing brilliant. I mean, to be on the panel as the first manager, obviously getting the most informed manager in Match of the Delay as the first one in, is obviously something that I won't take for granted. It's a pleasure to be here. And also, I will be on the ultra offensive, because some of the opinions I've heard about my tactics in particular, I'm not too happy about. We had words of plagiarism last week. I call it inspiration. So yeah, if we see anyone using a 4-3-3, we'll call it a Pep tactic. If it's a 4-2-3-1, we'll call it a Klopp tactic. So yeah, it's ultra offensive this week for me, Steve.
Well, there we go. And that's exactly what we like to see. We love a little bit of managers being on offense in this. And we're actually going to kick off our action with a top 4 clash as second yellow cards Tottenham take on Josh Daly's Everton. Again, a team that you probably wouldn't expect to be inside that top 4. Our man watching this one is Ramster.
Second yellow card Spurs welcome Josh Daly's Everton to Tottenham today. And Spurs unchanged for the 6th straight game as they look to retain their unbeaten start to the season and have Heung-min Son up front, hoping to continue his superb start to the season now to his half a dozen goals so far. Josh Daly also naming an unchanged team, a potential change to their shape, with a 4-2-3-1 being abandoned for a 4-4-1-1 to maybe try to contain the attacking threat that Spurs have shown so far this season.
Right then, so today is going to be second yellow card we're going to be playing. Now, nothing but respect for this guy. This guy was making content basically before I was even born, to be fair. So I watched him a ton when I was coming up, and nothing but love for him. So at the end of the day, we're going to keep it humble today. Stay humbler, in the words of you know who. You know who.
Drop back to Pasuma. Back to Dragishin, back out to Porro. Porro's got Maddison ahead of him. Slides Maddison in. Can Maddison find Son in the middle? He squared it. Son, great save by Pickford. To Vicario. Patiently keeping the ball. Here's Dragishin carrying the ball wonderfully.
This is more like it. Bit of space for Dragishin. That's what we're going to get these chances, I feel like. Oh, that's a great pass. Come on, James, finish it. Yes! It just took someone other than Son to get through. That must be onside, right? No, I think it is. Come on, lads. That's perfect. Right before half-time.
If he was onside, it would have been
Son
very, very tight. But for me,
Perfection.
just a little bit off. But we're going to see what happens. And it has been awarded, so fair play. He's deserved that.
1-0 is not good enough, really. We need another one. We should have another one, really. Would it be weird if I just sat down for the second half and it was really incongruous? Will the desk go down in time before Josh finishes making his changes? Oh, half has started. Please no highlights. As seamless transitions go, I'd say this was one of them. And we move.
Been a bit quiet today, Lynch, but good football from Spurs, and he's slid in Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's put the ball in the net.
Is as I was about to make a change. Bring on some fresh wing-backs. I hope that's not onside, but I think it is, you know. God damn it, we've been so good. Disallow, come on!
If we can see
2-0.
it's game over. So for me, it's simple. Game's done.
Perfect. Literally just a case of job done. These 2-0 victories we've been getting lately, I feel like we're due a blowout win. God, Maddison had a hell of a game. Goal and assist, 9 key passes. He's absolutely run the show there. Sonny actually got back to a 6.8 as well, which is terrific. He's just had a bit of a weird off day there, but that's just good. We're keeping the points, 6 unbeaten. It's not enough to probably be top of the league, but it's pretty close. And as long as we can stay in the hunt for Champions League football, I'm pretty happy with that. We've got some bigger games to come, though, because we've really not played any of the truly big sides yet. No offense to Man United. Sorry, Breezy.
And it is going to be full time at the end of the day. It's Tottenham Hotspur. We're not expected to do anything here. So, you know, for the fans that actually turned up, you probably wasted your money. It is what it is. Game's the game.
So Z, that is another win for second yellow card and his Tottenham team there, showing that he is really, really good value for this competition.
Well, he is. He's incredibly good value for the people that are going to be betting against him because he's managing Tottenham. So he actually has no chance to win the entire thing. But it's about time. If you've got Everton up into the top 4 of the Premier League and you're going up against a bunch of other football manager experts and professionals, it's about time you run into trouble. And that's exactly what Josh Daly's run into in this particular instance. He's been outclassed. He's been outplayed. It's not even necessarily his fault, right? Tottenham, one of the big guns coming into this competition, in the hands of a capable master who has a lot of experience in those streamer showdowns from a couple of years ago. Like I said earlier, he doesn't have a chance to win the whole thing, but putting together what you would expect, a fairly dominant performance that's going to keep in European competitions to keep Daniel Levy happy.
Exactly, and he is very much doing that, but there is always that element of it potentially getting a little bit Spursy. And Robbo, Josh and Everton didn't really offer too much in this game, but ultimately, this probably isn't a game that he's going to be targeting to win against superior opposition like Tottenham.
No, he isn't looking to win this game, but that's a problem with Josh Daly. Never offers too much, to be honest. I mean, the game was dull. I mean, his only highlight of the game was an offside goal, and I think that tells the story. I've known Josh for a few years now, and knowing that he pulls tactics off the Steam Workshop, renames him to Josh Daly 433 and uploads them to YouTube for a living is something quite controversial, like his tactics in that game. A very poor display from Josh Daly. We'll expect him a bit better next week.
Wow, that's literally all guns blazing off the first one there. For game number 2, we are actually going to move to the Etihad as TonyJameson's resurgence with Manchester City after a bad start continues. Today, his opposition is Maggio and Aston Villa. Watching this one for us is official Enrice.
Welcome to game week 6 of the Match of the Delay, sponsored by Fanatical. We are at the Etihad Stadium, where we're going to see a Battle of the FM Show podcast, where we're going to see Manchester City facing Aston Villa.
Right, up against TonyJameson and Man City. He's been losing matches like he doesn't know how to play football matches. This guy hosts a podcast, which I'm also on, the FM Show pod, and he's been losing like mad.
Man City versus Aston Villa. Inconsistent Man City and inconsistent Aston Villa.
Straight onto
Bernardo Silva again on the
now.
delivery. Can he deliver it?
Yeah,
now
this is
somewhere?
clear.
Silva.
Heads out.
Diaz. And then Haaland.
Heads out.
In. Haaland's gone.
What
the
is
end of
that?
Silva.
Cleared again.
Intercepted again.
Headed clear by Digne. Running as far as Silva
Bernardo
again.
Silva goes in it's off Haaland's arse. It's in off his arse.
Where did that come off
with
of?
his arse.
Buendia. Tielemans outside the box. Oh, I don't know where it ended up in. I don't know how it ended up in the net, but it's got there. It's got there. It's all about the corners, gents. Don't worry. If you don't have your corners set up right. I mean, I don't know why with all the tall players there putting it to the edge of the box, but that has ended up in the net. What's this?
Digne,
kick,
beautiful
Digne.
dunk.
Barkley's free.
Beautiful,
Kamara.
beautiful, beautiful. It's 2-2.
Yes, 2-2. I don't know what happened. What the hell?
What is that?
De Bruyne, can he deliver us something? No. Watkins, but again picked up by a Manchester City player.
Rodri, Diaz,
The ref's just kind of
Grealish.
rushing out. De Bruyne is
De
in.
Bruyne. Flags up, flags up.
Go on. Rule it out. Rule it out.
Goal awarded.
It's a win. It's a win for Man City. Not deserved.
Oh, okay. There you go. Don't need to make any changes. We've won. 3-2. Take that.
So Robbo, that is now 3 wins on the spin for Tony and Manchester City. Now he is finally proving what this Manchester City team can be capable of within Football Manager.
Yeah, well, watching the highlights, Haaland up to his old tricks, played absolutely brilliant in that game, getting a double. I mean, Tony's sat in 9th with City at this point. It's a bit unexpected, to be fair. But what should happen, I think, the Etihad Canberra should get in touch with TonyJameson, give him a ring, as Pep Guardiola, suffering 60 defeats in the last 7 games, is absolutely horrific. And Tony there playing much better football than Pep has in recent weeks. But fair play to Tony, like you say, he was in 9th, he puts himself up into 5th with this result. A good game as well. And Aston Villa, not the easiest team to face in FM either. So yeah, great game from Tony, well done.
Yeah, he's done well to pull this out after a bit of a dodgy start. And Z, we've seen lots of set pieces scored in this game and in this competition as a whole, along with the FIFA E World Cup. How important is a good set piece routine in Football Manager?
All right, set pieces can change games. It's why they've added a set piece coach to Football Manager this year, because they know how serious it is. But one of the most important parts of this entire thing is that I feel like Oppenheimer, in a sense. I spent 2 or 3 hours before I released that set piece tutorial video, staring aimlessly into space, listening to ambient music that's been constructed for Christopher Nolan movies, and now I have become Death, destroyer of defensive corner tactics.
That's it. It's such a vital thing, as we said. For game number 3, though, we are going to turn our attention to the King Power, as Llama's Leicester City will be taking on Breezy's Manchester United, with both managers looking to bounce back after defeat last week. D-Boy is our man watching this one.
Welcome to today's fixture of Leicester City versus Manchester United. Llama's Leicester lads have suffered defeat in their last 2 outings. Can they pick some points up at home today? 7 changes to the starting lineup in today's match, most notably Hermansen being dropped for Stalasic in goal, and up front Vardy replaced by Daka. Breezy will want to bounce back to winning ways after last week's defeat to Spurs. An all too familiar starting lineup for the Red Devils today, with only one change: Mooono in central midfield in for Mason Mount. Can Højlund add to his 3 goals scored so far this season?
All right, here we go. 3 seconds gone, and we're tied at 0-0, which is the best position we've been in for quite some time, let me assure you. Could all change very quickly, though.
All right, we are back again following our disappointing defeat to Spurs. This time we are away at Leicester City. So hopefully we can pick up and get back to winning ways and pick up 3 points here. Just a note for the audience: I am currently battling a cold, so that's my excuse if it goes wrong today. Don't know whether that's an excuse that anyone's going to accept. Don't care, frankly.
On the left-hand side, tries to get past Rashford, but he loses the ball. De Ligt now for Man United. Played into Højlund. That's a great through ball. Amad Diallo in on goal, but he sends it just wide.
Just spoke about him. He's given the ball away, and now Leicester with a chance to break. It's Patson Daka in behind. He's round Onana. Should have scored. Hits the post. And the ball's come back into Samara in the back post, and this time it has got in. And typical, we have dominated this first half, and off the back of Mason Mount giving the ball away, we are now found ourselves 1-0 down. He's coming off at half-time, and he's never going to play for me ever again.
Finds Edouard. He tries the through ball, but it's read by Martinez. Shaw into Rashford, over the top to Højlund.
And the fact he's put that in the back of the net quite comfortably tells me he is indeed offside. He looked it from the moment the pass went through to him. I imagine if he was onside, he would have put that into Rose Ed.
Disallowed it. Even I'm cheering for Breezy. I don't mind losing to Breezy. He's one of the good guys. He's not one of the twerps in the FM community. He's one of the good guys.
Do you know what? There's half an hour to go. I did this in the game against Spurs, and it didn't work. I'm hoping it works now. I need goals is the name of the tactic. You can see where this is going, can't you?
Christensen tries to find Vardy, but he can't. Martinez on the ball now. Fernandez, lovely first-time passing. Rashford into Højlund, rounds the keeper, and there it is. There's the equaliser for Manchester United. They're back in the game, 1-1. Fatawu back to Okoli. Christensen in the middle to McAteer. He loses the ball to Casemiro into Xerxes.
Garnacho is free, and sort of the back post. Ball comes in. Rasmus Højlund, 2-1 Manchester United. We've turned it around. Massive work.
Corner to Man United. Shaw.
He's going to take his time over it as well. I've not even told him to do that.
Crosses it in. Finds De Ligt.
Matthias De Ligt makes it 3-1. And that, ladies and gentlemen, should be game over. Again, reminder, comment section. I'm ill as we're recording this. So if you want to get in the comments and show me some sympathy, that would be greatly appreciated. But please.
Come on then, ref. Sort it out. We're done.
That is going to be just about that. All in all, I'm going to say a deserved win. I thought, obviously, first half weren't fantastic, and then once we made those sort of tweaks, and once we got the first goal, really, we were the better team, and I think deserved winners on the day. So, happy with that. Bounce back after the Tottenham result. And still in a pretty healthy position in the league table.
So Breezy gets back to his winning ways, but he did have to dip into his bag of tricks and pull out a 3-striker tactic to get the job done against Leicester.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the classic example of you make one change and then you feel like a genius. There's the old FM meme that you go into attacking mode and then you don't score a goal, and it's Captain Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and he's sitting there and he goes, "Why are we not scoring goals? I specifically requested it." Well, Breezy specifically requested goals here, and he got an answer. 3 goals after making a change, including the first goal just a minute after going to that 3-striker tactic. You can make the argument that you should just play the entire match that way. But I know before he made that change, he was sweating bullets because this is not a match that he can be losing. This Leicester City team has not exactly been inspiring under our Chilean Alpine friend Llama.
Yeah, exactly. And this one looked actually a little bit promising for Llama, weathering the storm in the first half and then scoring right on the stroke of halftime. But that is a third defeat in a row, Robbo, especially including one against yourself last week.
I mean, losing to a manager like me is nothing to be ashamed of. Obviously, the best manager in Match of the Delay, just to start off with that one, Steve. I mean, for Llama, going 1-0 up against the best team in the world must have been a massive surprise. I was surprised watching the highlights as well. But of course, in the end, the absolute sheer dominance and attacking threat of Manchester United pulled through with a 3-1 win. For Llama, it's looking tough. I mean, all bark, no bite. Not really much going on at Leicester City, unfortunately, for him. But promising signs, 1-0 in at the half-time. At least he's leading a game at some point. I don't know, I'm kind of clutching for anything at this point. But yeah, Llama needs to keep his head up, maybe have a tactical rethink and come back into next week with the same ambition as he did in the first half.
Yeah, and this is going to be an open question to both of you guys. Like, how difficult do you think it will be managing a team like Leicester in a competition like this? This is an updated database, but their caliber of player is just not at the level of a team like a Manchester United.
Well,
do you want to answer first?
I think.
Sorry.
You're fine. Most important thing that you can do in Football Manager, you can't get scared. If you ever played in these kinds of settings before, if you get scared, you're going to get absolutely run over. So the thing for Llama here, if he's going to be able to pull himself out of this situation, is he's got to be able to step forward. He's got to be able to play with bold tactics, and he's got to be willing to accept the fact that every once in a while he's going to lose 4 or 5-0, and there's just not a lot that he can do about it because playing Football Manager online against other managers, it's kind of like getting on a slip and slide. Sometimes you're going to go down the right way, but sometimes you're going to go down the wrong way. And if you go down the wrong way, it's very hard to run back up a slip and slide.
Yeah, for sure. And Robbo, I assume you're not going to swap your Wolves team for Leicester anytime soon.
Oh, no, not at all. Obviously, in recent weeks, I've come into great form, so I absolutely love my Wolves team now. But yeah, on the question about Llama, I mean, it's going to be difficult at Leicester. Something I've learned in my shorter time playing Football Manager is that playing attacking is always better than playing defensive. You could be playing with Hyde Town and going to the nude camp, and I probably will still play attacking football. So I think, seconding what Zealand said, the slip and slide, I think some weeks he's going to get absolutely tatered. Obviously, this week, playing the best team in the world, the best attacking force in the world, he was obviously going to get tatered. But in game weeks up and coming, if he's got some games around, some teams around him, if he can be brave, playing attacking tactic, maybe he can find himself in a few positive results.
Yeah, and that's what he did against Ipswich, and he got the win there. So
yeah.
More positivity for Llama moving forward, hopefully. Next, we are going to move into a London derby as ZimsMula's Crystal Palace will be taking on Jake Cooper and his Fulham side.
Hello and welcome to Selhurst Park for today's London derby, which sees bottom of the table Crystal Palace welcome a free-scoring Fulham side, 7th at the start of the day, and they'll be looking to extend their good start to the season.
Right, here we go. We're up against Zim's Crystal Palace side today, a London derby. After winning the last match, I'm quietly confident we might be able to get a result here.
I need a big performance from the boys today. Listen, when we get into this derby right now versus Fulham, come on Palace, man.
Fulham on the ball here, 11 minutes have been played. Looking to make the breakthrough.
Potentially
Robinson.
our first chance here with Robinson down the left. Have we got a penalty? We might very well have a penalty. I feel like it might be.
That's never a pen, ref, by the way, just to let you know. Just to let you know, mate, that's never a penalty. Any walk of
penalty
life, that's
awarded.
never a penalty.
Get in. This is our chance to go 1-0 up already. Who's it going to be? I assume Raul Jimenez. Come on, Jimenez. Put it in. Come on. 1-0. Off to a great start. Crystal Palace 0. Fulham 1. The London derby swinging in our favour.
Jimenez now. Wide to Nelson. Can he get into the middle?
Man.
He opts to dribble into the middle instead himself. Out wide now to Tete.
Getting down the wing. Put the ball in. Wilson, left-footed shot, a left-footed curler. He's done it. What a goal that is. Brilliant play. The best goal I think we've scored yet in this tournament. That was just lovely little link-up play, ball going everywhere, and a fantastic finish. 2-0.
But to 2-pack, man, we got to make some flipping changes, bro.
When I was a young boy, my father said to me,
listen here, son. Your CPFC.
Half time though, great half. We're 2-0 up. We've scored the 2 chances that we've had. We've had more of a possession and we've allowed no shots on target from Zim's Palace side. So far so good.
Palace now with just over 15 minutes to go. They're looking to get a goal here. Nketiah on the left wing. Crosses it in. The defenders turn their back to the ball. I don't know what they're doing.
It's not over yet. Not flipping over yet, boys. I'm demanding more.
Palace with the ball now. Sarr on the right side. He crosses it in.
Yeah, they've scored. Oh, I can't handle that. He's put 3 people up front that my team do not know what to do, and I'm not smart enough to know how to fix it.
There ain't nobody better than Joe Felipe Mateta. Come on, Palace, man.
We've got a chance. A set piece. Calvin Bassey. Let's go. We were 2-0 up. We've let 2 goals back in, but now we have got the winner late on. The set pieces always work. It's usually Anderson. We've brought on Bassey off the bench, and he has powered it home. Thank God for that. I thought we'd given up the win. There we go. Right, we got the win. Thank God for that, because once Sims made those changes tactically, I did not know what to do. Got straight back into the game. We've relied on a set piece to get it out in the end, but I'm going to have to think of something different, some kind of second game plan next time in case that happens.
There's no mentality. There's no fight. There's no passion. There's no desire. There's a nothingness at this club right now. This doesn't feel like the club I work at. It doesn't feel like the club I support and expect better from.
So Jake Cooper and Fulham go marching on with another 3 points there. Robbo, what do you make of what Jake is doing with this team, as he's someone you've not actually played in this competition yet?
No, it'll be a great game when we do match 2 great managers collide, but I want to talk about the 2 managers right now. We've got one manager who has been inspired by real life, and one manager who has, like me the other week, has been accused of plagiarism. Now, the tactic we've seen from Jake Cooper deployed today was very much similar to a World Cup winning tactic. Now, if you deploy a World Cup winning anything in life, you are most likely going to win. So when I play Jake Cooper, I hope he does change his tactic up and has a bit more originality. I mean, conceding as well, last minute to a near post header to lose a game is absolutely excruciating. I can't think of anything worse than FM to happen to someone. If that was me, my tree would probably go across the room. But yeah, I look forward to facing Jake. Obviously, I've watched his content for years, great content creator, but it'll be another funeral for Jake Cooper come our match day.
Wow. And Z, that's the point I wanted to touch on, actually. The heartbreak of losing this one, basically the last kick of the game. And again, it's a near post header from a corner.
You know that song, Hello Darkness, My Old Friend? It should be on repeat when you're playing Football Manager, because this sort of thing is just going to happen. I've always said Football Manager is kind of like playing poker. Even if you are copying a tactic that won you won not you, but somebody that actually came up with the tactic, a world championship, then you're going to end up in a moment where it comes down to the wire, and it's down to basically a flip of a coin. You can do everything right and lose. You can do everything wrong and win. And in this case, he did everything right based off of, thousands of hours of testing, and then barely won anyways. So you just bring your bring your heart attack medicine every time you got to load in to play these games, because this is going to happen no matter what you do.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of our competitors, as soon as they give away a corner, it's almost as if they'd actually prefer to give away a penalty at this point, I think, which is, I think Robbo can attest to that as well.
Oh, the worst, honestly. Since Zealand brought out that corner technique, it's been over.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go. Become death, destroyer of corner defense.
Now we're going to move into game number 5 of this week, as we're off to Anfield, as Omega Luke will be looking to bounce back after last week's surprise defeat to Mustermann, and he entertains MurphFM with Brighton, who are looking to get their first point in 3 match weeks. Watching this one for us is Godly Fabio.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another game. This time I have the pride to introduce you to game week 6. We got Liverpool, Brighton, Luke, Murph.
Today we've got Murph, Brighton as well. That combination of Murph and Brighton scares me,
Left. Okay, Alexander-Arnold gives it in.
Head back, Endo!
Endo on the volley.
It's a cracking finish from Wataru Endo.
Beauty from the boy.
Now that is a good half volley.
Konate gives it to Spartan Van Dijk. In the middle to Salah. Salah gives it to Darwin. Darwin gives it to Tsimikas. He goes over 1. Tsimikas goes over 2.
Nunez,
Darwin!
yes, repaid the favour. I gave him an opportunity and he paid me back. It's a tap-in, but I've seen him miss them before. Half-time, we can't be mad at how we've played. 0 shots for Brighton. 0 shots in one game of football against a team that I was very worried about. If we do not win this game, I swear I should retire immediately.
We got 2-0 down
It's not been pretty. The left back is it to Endo. Endo, what a game he's having. McAllister, Tsimikas smile hits the post. What's happening? Tsimikas, the Turkish, nice clearance.
Are we not
Robertson.
giving them? Surely not.
Endo, Robertson.
What? Robertson still got
Yeah,
it.
step
Still
up,
got it.
Andrew
Oh,
Robertson,
Andrew
put it
Robertson,
home.
beautiful. Oh, don't worry about the penalty, ref. We'll have that instead. And there we go. Full time. Liverpool 3, Brighton 0. We take another 3 points there. And we carry on with our season. Come on, boys. That's a cracking win.
3-0 Liverpool here at Anfield. It ends. A good victory for Liverpool. We'll see how we get on the return fixture against them later on this season.
Right, so Z, that is Omega Luke returning to winning ways after disappointment last week. In a competition like this, how important is it for you to bounce back with a win in the following game week?
Well, it's absolutely massive. I mean, obviously it's massive on the field because getting 3 points is better than not getting 3 points, but it's even more important for your mental fortitude because the moment things start going unexpectedly wrong in multiple games is when you start to scratch your head, lose your mind, and maybe make some changes that end up shooting you in the foot instead of helping you. And especially in the case of Omega Luke here, because coming into this match, he's just lost to the worst team in the league. That is a very difficult thing to process, but you put that behind you, you focus on what you can change, and then you get a result like this, where Liverpool, as it should, looks like a completely dominant team against Brighton.
Yeah, completely steamrolled them. And unfortunately for Murph, that is now 3 defeats in a row. Robbo, you're a manager in this competition who's actually quite in form. Do you have any words of advice for him?
Well, when the going gets tough, the tough gets going, I think, Steve. I mean, what's tough for Murph in that game there is Mitoma getting an injury within 5 minutes, one of his best players. I mean, life is just knocking him down. It's like he's got a bruise and you're pouring salt over it. It's just constantly getting worse. Any words of advice, obviously being the most informed manager in Match of the Delay at the moment? I mean, maybe a tactical rethink. You know, in my early weeks in the competition, obviously new to the environment, new to the versus scene, I was experimenting with more basic tactics, you know, trying to play it safe. But like Zealand commented on before, if you're bold, if you're brave, if you go with something that doesn't look the ordinary, it can work out and surprise other teams' managers. So with Brighton especially, I think they've got such a good talent ID as well. The players in the team can play in pretty much any system. You know, you've got João Pedro, Danny Welbeck, one of the most informed strikers in the Premier League as well right now. Also from Carrington, what a place, what a training ground. I think he might just have to have a quick rethink with his tactic, maybe try some new player roles, maybe for a few weeks drop the line or something. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's looking very, very bleak for Murph right now.
Yeah, it definitely is. And this is going to be an interesting one now as we move on to Game 6 of the schedule. It's a little bit of a controversial one as Moonoo's Nottingham Forest take on Trequinho's Ipswich Town. However, due to some unforeseen circumstances, Trek has called in an assistant manager for this one.
Hello, loves. A short trip down to the City Ground for me as we watch Moonoo's Nottingham Forest take on Trequinho. Hang on a minute. GYR's Ipswich Town. Monique returns from the land of the rising sun, slightly jet-lagged, and still sticking to this tree formation, which was so successful last week against Leemo's Bournemouth. There'll be something Marva in Trequinho this week, but he's not here. Hopefully we'll see him next week. Instead, we got that GYR bloke. GYR brings his tactical masterclass to Ipswich Town, reverting to a 4-2-3-1 formation, with Sammy Smodic supporting Liam Delap up front.
Let's see how it's going to go. We've got our usual tree tactic because trees are incredible.
Calvin Phillips now over the ball.
Why is Calvin Phillips taking the corner?
Look for that near post, and there's Burgess.
No,
Come on, Burgess.
this is not how I mean to stay awake. Wrong team.
Johnson pushing down the right wing.
Back to him.
Jack Clark.
Nice.
Johnson again.
Right, no,
It's in.
no.
It's in. Smolix, come on.
Definitely playing his inverted wing back in this game. Johnson.
No. No.
Oh, it's 3-0.
No.
Love it. It's got to be 3 points. Surely that's it.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places.
Broadhead.
Oh my god.
Broadhead to produce
Yeah,
O'Shea.
congratulations on your
O'Shea with a
fourth
shot.
goal.
Oh!
Knew what was happening.
4-0.
Saw it coming. I am being humbled. I'm not Mono Mourinho. I'm Ten Hag.
Nice to caretaker manager for one game. We've come in, we've got 4 goals, bit of confidence, and Trek will take back over, and it's onward and upward from here.
Yeah, I'll see you guys next week. I am gonna lay in bed all depressed.
So, Robbo, that is a first win in this competition for Ipswich, but they did have to call in an experienced ringer to get the job done.
I'm just going to give you a few examples that come to mind straight away of what I've just witnessed. I manage an under-8s team in real life. It's a little project I have go on. I may as well just call Ronaldo from Saudi to come play in that game, or I'll get Ruben Amorim to come sit in my chair in my next game against Monique, because in my opinion, we need to have a board meeting with the managers to go from a team that has picked up 1 point in all game weeks to then a 4-0 thrashing out of nowhere. It's unbelievable. It's like Batman just appearing out of nowhere from the darkness. This is absolutely crazy in my opinion. Obviously, off the commentating, off the call, I will be having words with Steve because I am absolutely fuming about this. I think it's ludicrous. I think a lot of the other managers will too. But for Monique as well, just to touch on Monique, I mean, the Christmas tree, I absolutely love Christmas, my favourite season, but it might be time to find a different type of wood because this is just not working. 4-0 by Ipswich. 4-0. Emphatic.
Yeah, it was.
That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, it was pretty emphatic. And Z, I'm going to throw over to you now as a man who's very tactically astute in this world of Football Manager. What do you think of the tree tactic?
Well, I think it's visionary. First of all, I mean, anytime that you can identify a meme and lean into it as much as humanly possible, that's the real spirit of the game. Even if you are losing 4-0, even if the other team is getting a new manager boost here, this is something that people will remember you for, whether you're successful or not. Now, I do think that they're leaving themselves a little bit exposed here because you can make a tree by just, having those defensive midfielders go a little wide and still play with 2 center backs. Trying to play with 1 center back, it's absolute insanity. It's complete unfiltered audacity and insanity. And it is really, really impressive that Monique's able to do that and not be unlessed.
Yeah, definitely. I commend her for leaning into it, though. It definitely is a nice thing to see. And obviously, the tree tactic, Nottingham Forest, Chris Wood up top. It all makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Now, we are going to head to the Emirates as we have 2 sides who pulled off upsets last week as Dodgee Gamer's Arsenal take on Mustermann's Chelsea. Our man at the game for this one was sore loser.
We have a North London derby in game week 6 as Mustermann's Chelsea takes on Dodgee Gamer's Arsenal. After that dramatic late winner against Omega Luke last week, Mustermann has opted for a 4-3-3 with Palmer, Nkunku and Jackson leading the line. And Dodgee Gamer's Arsenal has also gone for a 4-3-3 with Martinelli, Jesus and Saka up front, with Odegaard, Havertz and Rice deeper in the middle.
This one is personal. In a good way. Yeah, bit of subversion. Bet you didn't expect that, hey? Woo. Dodgee Gamer is probably the first content creator I believe out there who featured my skin in his content. So I've always had a bit of time for him, but beyond that he is an absolute gentleman. And this week we're facing off against him. It's game week 7. It's Arsenal versus Chelsea at Arsenal. It's going to be a tough game, I feel.
Let's see how it goes. Of course, there's always a chance with Mustermann that there's going to be a little switch and bait somewhere early in the game.
White now with the free kick into Saka. Back to White. Not a lot of pressure here from Chelsea as White runs down the right-hand side into Saka and Cucurella. Is that a penalty?
Come on.
Was that inside the area, though?
He won the ball. There's not even a foul, let alone in the box.
Foul? That's another question entirely. Kyle Walker.
Corruption.
All right, penalty awarded. We'll take it. We
order.
deserve one after that.
Saka now with a
Kyle
chance
Walker
to give
fiasco
Arsenal the lead
against Manchester City. Come on, Saka. Drill it home.
There we have it.
Get
It's
in.
Chelsea
That
0.
is
the officials won.
Deserved.
Lavia, Badiashile, Lavia. Nice pressing here from Chelsea. Good passing around as well. Cucurella. Back to Badiashile.
Badiashile now. Over to Lavia. James is going to shoot, is he? No, he plays it to Caicedo. Caicedo.
I think if we look stats-wise, I mean, it's clear, isn't it? Stats-wise, it's clear who the better team was there. Just over 15... Oh, no. We're starting with a Chelsea highlight. Oh, my God.
They've made it 2-1. Fofana has made it 2-1. Who saw that coming?
We're being beaten by this wacko formation. That is poor. That is poor. We started well. but we just couldn't sustain it for the 90 minutes.
Chelsea, Chelsea, I believe when you're dancing slowly, sucking your sleeve, the boys get lonely after you leave. It's one for the dagger, another for the one you believe. Yeah. I'm not going to regret doing that whatsoever.
So that is back-to-back wins for Mustermann now, beating Liverpool and now Arsenal. Z, he's been a manager who's been under pressure in our comments section. Do you think back-to-back wins against this kind of caliber of opposition will start to silence those guys?
Well, it's not going to make it worse, but it still doesn't disguise what's been an embarrassing season, honestly. He's somebody that's been getting briefed on this competition and been brought up to speed over the past couple of days here. When I was first informed that Mustermann was a manager that wasn't doing well, the last thing I could have possibly imagined was that he was managing Chelsea. I just did this in the network game, and I got 96 points in the first season, and I was playing a bit of a meme tactic myself. Now, if you were really going to try to go play all these meme tactics, at least they could be good. You got a team above you named Nottingham Forest that's playing a tree.
I mean, yeah. There you go. As a recent Chelsea manager as well, that's at least you've got some really good ground to stand on with that, Z, with the network game ringing in there.
And that's important. That's important, man, because I normally don't.
Oh yeah, for sure, right. This is a guy who's got no football manager experience at all. And Robbo, Dodgee Gamer will be a little bit disappointed with this one. Not really the best performance. He changed things up last week, opting to drop Thomas Partey, bringing in Kai Havertz to actually give a little bit more of a creativity there. And ultimately in this one, it didn't pay off for him.
No, it didn't work out in the end. And something that is key within football management is timing. And timing is very important. When you change a player, when you make a sub, you might change your tactic around. And I think in a big game against Chelsea, maybe underestimated Mustermann a bit too much here. Going for a change of tactic in a game like this is quite brave. And with Mustermann, obviously, recently not having the best results, you know, after a win last week, the team are fired up, they're ready, they're back in the winning spirit. It was a brave decision from Dodge to change the tactic. And labelling Kai Havertz as a more creative player is a very interesting take as well. We'll leave that to the YouTube comments to decide what they think of that. But yeah, a great win for Mustermann, I must add. Obviously, Mustermann in recent weeks getting a little bit of negative backlash for his tactics and stuff. Obviously, like Zealand said, it is very embarrassing to be that far down the table with Chelsea. But Dodge, I think, interesting tactic decision, but maybe I think he should have saved it for a game where he played a bit of a weaker opposition compared to his Arsenal side to test it out. But I guess if you never try it, you're never going to know. So, fair play to Mustermann. Good 3 points for him, putting him up the table, silencing the haters.
Yeah, exactly that. And maybe they'll be moving back to a 4-2-3-1 for next week's game.
Yeah, I definitely would.
Yeah.
Sorry, Steve, I definitely would. Yeah, terrible decision from Dodge. Yeah.
There we go. We are going to actually stay in London for our next one, as we've got Kempi's West Ham United looking to pick up their first win of the competition. However, to do that, they will need to beat table-topping Brentford, who are managed by Mckins.
Welcome to Match of the Delay, game week number 6, here at the London Stadium. We're going to see West Ham facing Brentford. And here we've got the lineup for Kempi's West Ham. They have probably found the right tactic right now, as they're going to be playing again a 4-2-3-1 with Jared Bowen up top. And here we've got the lineup for Mckins Brentford. They also start in a 4-2-3-1 with Mikkel Damsgaard down the middle and Kevin Schade up top.
Right then, it is time to finally get a win. It is 3 draws in a row. It is 5 goals scored in 2 games, and we're returning to the 4-2-3-1. And today, we're up against Mckins FM, who is incredible. He has been simply brilliant the whole of this season, and he loves a corner goal as well. And if for anything we know, we can see a lot of corners. So this is going to be a very difficult game.
Now, I'm playing somebody today called, I think his name is Kempi. Not really sure who he is. I thought he was one of Josh Daly's mods, to be honest. I can only imagine he's won some kind of competition to come and play FM with the creators. So I wish him all the best.
To Rodriguez. Kilman dribbles in there. Emerson to Paqueta, and he shoots and he scores. And it's 1-0.
And it is there already. I don't, honestly, you've seen a Gridium from me. You've seen trolling from me. Not today. Mckins is very good, and I'm very scared.
Let's see if he can make a difference here.
Here we go. Let's have a goal, please.
Oh no.
Let's have a goal, please.
Yeah.
Yes, we've got a goal.
He's not offside, is he?
Absolutely
I mean,
furious.
he could be.
He's so onside. It's West Ham 1, a Brentford 1,
A cheeky one of
and
these.
we're back. We're back in the game. Let's go.
The Mckins corner. I'm just gonna.
Is it a corner?
Yeah. Right, it's
We
2-1
score
to
the corner?
Brentford. Let's go.
We'll
It's
score the
just so
corner.
obvious. He's so boring. Bowen, do something for once in your life.
It's
He's done it.
Fulcrook. It's the forgotten man.
He scored in
Where's he gone in
back-to-back
real
games.
life? He's disappeared off the face of the earth. It's West Ham 2, Brentford 2.
It's draw city. It's what we do. We draw games. We come to the games. We look for a point. Now, last time out, I think it was the mad scientist who said we need to start winning games. I disagree.
It's full time. It's 2-2. Do you know what? The scoreline in the end was pretty fair. Do you know, there wasn't a lot to call between the two teams. West Ham probably shaded the highlights, but who cares? XG was the same. It's a point. Do you know what? We'll take points away from home. Another point on the board. We'll have it. Let's go.
So, Robbo, that is another point on the board for Kempi there, but calling out Ipswich on a day that they win 4-0 is actually pretty ballsy, isn't it?
Very ballsy indeed, Steve. Now, I'm going to reference Michael Jackson now, a song called Man in the Mirror. I think Kempi needs to listen to that song and take action on the Man in the Mirror, because he needs to look at himself before calling out other managers. On a day where Ipswich, and I must say, very controversially, got off the first 3 points and won 4-0. Kempi needs to look in the mirror. I mean, after his last week performance going 3-0 up and then getting all excited doing these silly griddies and stuff like that in a very serious competition and then drawing 3-3, again just shows his tactical incompetence. And then again today, drawing against Mckins, which, to be fair, Mckins is flying in the match of the delay at the moment, so fair play for getting a draw. But, I mean, Kempi to be calling out other managers while sitting. Can I just have a check, Steve? Sorry. Where's he sitting in the table?
A live update for Kempi will see him in 18th.
18th in the relegation zone, calling out other managers. You know, I'll let the silence speak.
Yeah, okay, well, that's totally fair enough. And Z, that's now 2 weeks without a win for Mckins' Brentford after a red-hot start to the competition. And he actually will lose top space in the table. Do you think that could be a sign of him sliding down as he faces more difficult opposition?
Well, I mean, he is Brentford, so if it's not a sign of him about to slide down the top of the table, then he needs to start competing in the Football Manager World Cup. Because if you're playing 19 other people that play Football Manager all the time, Brentford just shouldn't end up being at the top of the league. It's exciting for him that he was able to maintain that position as long as he was here for a few matches, but now it's a bit of a return to reality, and it's a particularly harsh reality check when it happens against somebody that's just grittying around in the relegation zone.
Yeah, exactly that. Next, we are going to move to the South Coast as TomFM's Southampton side will take on Leemo's Bournemouth, with both teams looking to get a result after defeats last week.
Welcome, everybody, to the match of the league game week 6. I have to introduce you another one. We're lacking commentators. It's Christmas. Not my bad. Southampton playing a 3-3-2-2 versus a Bournemouth on some Brexit-type football on a 4-4-2 classic.
Okie dokie, here we go. It's Southampton, TomFM versus Bournemouth.
Bad, Brenton. Unal, Cornet, Smith.
Ball back in the middle, in the back, of course. As soon as I mention how good Ramsdale's playing.
Boom, boom, shake the room. Boom, shake, shake, shake the room.
Towards the bottom.
Brexit football is working. Clivert.
So, if we can not give the ball away so
And Unal! He adds in another to his 6. 7th goal of the season for the Turkish. Manning, Lallana. Downs, Smallbone. Downs with the ball. He shoots!
Gets a goal back
Nice
forward.
goal!
Come on, the game is still alive. But I think it was too little, too late. Frustrating. That's really frustrating.
Take the win, come on. Big result there.
So Z, both these teams actually performing well above their weight after this one. Both Southampton and Bournemouth probably a little bit higher in the table than you would expect in this kind of competition.
Well, they are, but I think they're two clubs, particularly Bournemouth, the way that they've been set up to succeed this year, that you wouldn't be super stunned if you saw them competing in lower mid-table or mid-table overall. They've got a couple of players that you should be able to lean into, and you got to be happy if you're both of these managers where you're at right now. I mean, you can't win the league in the first couple of weeks, or you can't achieve your goals in the first couple of weeks, but you can certainly dent your aspirations massively, and neither of these managers have done that, which is good for them. But Leemo will be going into this as the favorite and looking to win.
Yeah, exactly. And Robbo, you actually play Tom in a couple games. Is that a matchup that you're looking forward to?
Oh, of course, Tom, one of the masters of the rebuild. And after I'm done with him, he'll have to rebuild his club again. It's going to be an absolute pasting for Wolves when we play. I hope Tom hears this. Obviously, Southampton overperforming at the moment. He's doing well, but he's not played a real manager yet. A real man of expertise, a real man of talent. A wonder kid of the FM scene, some might say. So, yeah, it'll be another funeral for TomFM when we play. But listen, you've got to commend a man when he's doing well. He's doing really well with Southampton. Obviously, one of the worst teams in the match of the delay. And like Zealand's touched on, when playing against 19 other people who play Football Manager day in, day out, and not being in the relegation zone with Southampton is particularly impressive. And I think Kempi could take some tips. You don't see TomFM griddying around his room.
I mean, that is also very true. That is very true. Yeah. We're going to move into our final game of the evening as Tickers Newcastle United will be taking on Wolves, who are managed by our man in the studio, Big Robbo.
Hello and welcome to Match of the Delay as Tickers Newcastle takes on Big Robbo's Wolves. Ticker and Newcastle sitting only 3 points off the top in 7th place, and Wolves somewhat unexpectedly pushing for a top half finish, having only lost 2 games to this point. Let's jump right into the action.
Last week, we had an amazing win against ZimsMulaa. We sent him to his funeral. Now we are playing Ticker Newcastle away. Such a tough fixture, this. But I said last week, Hwang Hee-chan will start up front, and so he does. What a 2 goals from him against Crystal Palace. We've got Newcastle away. Very difficult game on FM. Listen, though, we've won a few games in a row. I've got belief in the boys. Let's see how we can get on. Come on, Wolves!
Another corner for Newcastle. Jar from post, goal. Unbelievable.
Just conceding the corner in just 9 minutes.
Only as far as
lovely ball.
Finds Semedo out on the right.
Semedo.
And take his man on.
Can we get a ball into the box? We can.
That's a sensational whip in. Oh, no one's there.
Come
and it is 1-1.
For Hwang. Also Cunha plays the ball to Semedo, who's into the box, drives, shot across goal, saved by Pope.
1-1 at the break. Listen, Newcastle away. I will take this at half-time. If you would have said I was drawing at half-time, I would have took it. Lovely stuff. Come on. A lot of space opening up here. I don't like it. What a save.
Unbelievable from the keeper.
Mateus dinks it in.
Big
Strand.
No.
Andre.
Oh my God. Get him on the wall. On the wall. Pope. On the wall. Get on the wall.
Volley it. Oh, he had so much time.
Guys, it ended a 1-1. It's unfortunate for us. It's a good game against Robbo. Honestly, an absolute legend. And it's a pleasure to do a battle with him on the football ground. 1-1. We take it. It's a point. It's no loss. Come on.
And that is all she wrote. 1-1 at the end of the game. I mean, listen, I think Ticker's probably going to feel like he deserved it to win the game, but I think we've had 2 big chances. I mean, we had Sarabia in the 80th. That one at the end there could have been a winner. I think, in terms of chances either side, I reckon a draw is a fair result, but we could have won that then.
So, Robbo, that's now 4 matches unbeaten in this competition for you since you switched tactics. What's particularly clicked in those recent games for you?
Well, what's particularly clicked, I think, the tactical masterclass can't be underwritten. I mean, I changed tactic 4 games ago, and it's been an absolute tear in match of the delay. The defensive wingers getting further forward when they have the ball is absolutely brilliant. I think we've unlocked Mateus in that cam position. It suits him so well. Picking up the ball in the channels, roaming from his position. I shouldn't probably talk too much being the best manager in match of the day. People might start copying my tactics as well, just like GUR as an assistant manager, and also Jake Cooper using a 4-2-3-1 from the World Cup. But no, in recent games, we've just found form. You know, Hwang Hee-chan, an absolutely inspired striker as well at the moment. It was a shame I didn't win that game. As you would have seen, in the last minute, we had pretty much a 6-yard chance saved by the keeper. I was very unlucky not to win the game. And I'm pretty sure Zealand's corner video that he uploaded, Ticker would have been watching, because I've never seen so many front post corners in my life. And Dan Burn is an absolute menace.
Yeah, Z, I was going to ask you more about Ticker's just general tactic, going with the flat back 4, 3 defensive midfielders in front of them. Obviously, he's trying not to lose games, but he is struggling to really create things from open play.
Well, as long as you got the corner tactic plugged in, you don't really need to worry about creating things from open play. He's not applying it perfectly. His corners are coming in as outswingers, which, just in case he missed that part of the tutorial, it's supposed to be swinging in, but it clearly didn't matter much in this match because every single one of his highlights was coming from a corner, and the goal came from a corner. But there's potentially another reason that he was struggling from open play in this particular match, but I just got to check to make sure that the PayPal has come through. from Robbo, and it has. Yes, Robbo's defense was actually fantastic in this game. Tactical brilliance all the way up and down the field, outside, inside, and there was nowhere for Newcastle to go.
I second that every single second of what he just said there.
Yeah, that's money well spent from you, Robbo, there, I think. And that actually concludes our action for today, so let's have a look and see how those results have impacted our league table. So after another 3 points this week, it is second yellow card and Spurs who snatched that top spot in game week 6, with some of the more familiar faces now in hot pursuit, but it is still looking pretty tight at the top. And things are also very even at the bottom of the table as well, as Ipswich, Brighton, West Ham and Leicester City all have 4 points each, with ZimsMulaa and Crystal Palace bottom of the table. So gents, what did you think of today's action? And Robbo, how do you think the table is shaping up after 6 game weeks?
Well, I think a great thing you can take in life is to always look on the bright side. So we'll start at the top of the table. I want to give massive shout out to Mckins with Brentford. You know, being second in the table with Brentford, with some of the competition, some of the players that are playing with some of these teams is absolutely amazing. So well done to Mckins. And then we'll quickly go down that Zealand slipping side to the bottom. I mean, Crystal Palace at the bottom on 3 points. ZimsMulaa, a good friend of mine. I know I said the other week I've put him to his funeral. I think we need to get him cremated at this point. I mean, being 20th in the table with Crystal Palace is horrific. But speaking a bit about myself as well, you know, being mid-table with Wolves, 3 points off the top 4. I'm very proud of what I've done in recent weeks. But the table looks about right to me, to be honest. I'd say underperformers at the moment, Arsenal and Chelsea. But obviously Chelsea picking up a few positive results in recent weeks. Arsenal maybe tinkering with a tactic, which a bit controversial. But yeah, I think the table's looking quite good at the moment. And shout out to second yellow card as well, going on an absolute tear at the top of the table. Well done to him.
Yeah, and Z, is there anything that particularly stands out for you looking at our table there?
Well, I mean, that loss for Dodgee Gamer managing Arsenal is just absolutely crippling, because as much as I gave Mustermann a whole pile of nonsense for how poorly he's done at the start this season, did pick up the win when it mattered in a head-to-head with Arsenal. And if you're sitting there, you're Dodgee Gamer and you're Mustermann, Dodgee Gamer's probably feeling worse at the moment. And let's be honest, let's call a spade here. Arsenal's got more talent than Chelsea on that roster. So if there's one person on this table that's sweating the early season results, it should be Dodgee Gamer, because you're sitting on one of those teams that legitimately has the talent to compete for a league title, and you're already 7 points off the top of the table. You've been replaced by Fulham, and Brentford is, have already been pointed out, are having absolutely fantastic runs. But that is the number one thing that stands out to me is how Arsenal, a team that has league-winning type talent in Football Manager, has fallen so far.
Yeah, exactly that. And there's only one more thing for me to say now, which is obviously to thank both of you guys for joining me on this week's episode. I always give our panelists a chance to promote themselves. So Z, I'm going to start with you.
Well, Zealand on YouTube. Some guy's taken to copying me on YouTube and started a channel called Zealandism, where he just posts a couple videos a day. That, I think he just AI generates me. I don't really know how it works, but definitely an interesting channel worth checking out.
Yeah, there you go. I'll leave links to that in the description. And Robbo, obviously, as one of our managers, you already have links, but where can people find you?
Yeah, just Big Robbo 14 on all socials. At the moment on Twitch, if you just give me a second to pull this in. We are currently doing a save called The Wheel of FM Tune, and this wheel has been absolutely driving me crazy over the last couple of weeks. So if you want to watch any of the content, Big Robbo 14, we've just started on YouTube. Within the last month, we've done one rebuild, which did quite well. My first 1 out of 10 on YouTube, which I was proud of. So that did really well for me. So yeah, if you boys want to see any of the content, Big Robbo 14, all socials.
Yeah, amazing stuff. And also there, if you are still watching at the end of this video, there has been a gift code for Fanatical put in this video somewhere. And I hope somebody has found it, because my editor is very good at hiding them. So if you find that, congratulations to you. And we will see you next week for some more Match of the Delay.